What is up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for... Wait, what's that, Swag? Another Overwatch Odyssey League match happening tonight? Hot diggity dog, everyone. Overwatch Odyssey League fans, viewers, and new viewers, welcome to the Overwatch Odyssey League. We bring you not the first match to occur, but the first match to be streamed of the Overwatch Odyssey League Fall Tournament, and bringing things into view for us so we can get things underway. We have got the Lootboxers, a very strong team from last season, coming up against the WVU, that's right, the West Virginia University Blue team from their esports program. Excited to have them and excited to see this matchup. So as we're getting things ready and excited to see what is coming from tonight, I gotta say, I'm just excited to be back. I'm excited for this tournament to be underway. And if you don't know me, my name is Zoran for the new ones. Excited to be here. And unfortunately, I don't have anyone in the booth with me, but I'm going to do my very best to keep you all very entertained and engaged in what's going on, because I promise you there will be a lot of action. As you can see on your screen, this is the open division, so new to the Overwatch Odyssey League. We've got 2 divisions, so these teams will be about diamond and higher rank, so excited to see what these teams can bring to the table. So without further ado, I'm sorry that you're not entertained, Swag. But as we are going forward with tonight's match, we are going to kick things off with Midtown between these two teams. Alrighty, and on the left side, I gotta take a look at something here. Apologies, this is the first stream and we're already having issues. Bear with me here as we take care of these technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. All right, we are now free. We have got returning players. So we've got Ocelot, Squid, and Arrow returning for the Lootboxers. As you can see, they're setting up here. And then for WVU Blue, we have got in red on the right side of your screen. You've got Pogfish playing that Ram, Street Racer on Sombra, Wolf Dragon on Juno, Moose on Brig, and UTG on Widow. Always excited to see some good Widow play here. It looks like WVU is going to go ahead and go for that offside. Looks like they're playing a bit of a brawl there with what they've got. And Brig Juno, both teams are playing that Brig Juno, which is definitely a very dominant support combo. Pogfish getting very low, Spyrise wanting to capitalize, but not able to. And Moose is going to be the first to fall. Squid getting the first pick here as May. Mr. Smiles coming back in Street Racer. Ocelot getting Pogfish. Spyrise really pushing in, and Wolf Dragon is going to go down as well. And that is going to be a almost team kill for the Lootboxers. But it looks like UTG is going to stay alive, hoping to get a quick pick. Getting that cheeky pick there at the end, maybe to set things off as they're regrouping and getting things. But it looks like we're going to see a swap here. Looks like we're going to see a May Ash combo. And both teams on fire now. One of the things that I really like about seeing these mirror comps too as action's getting underway is it's just a battle of pure determination. But Pogfish getting in there, getting 2 picks. Mr. Smiles able to get UTG down. But it is going to be another for Pogfish as they are going to go ahead and start capping the point here. Arrow's going to try and get out. Arrow does not. Moose able to finish off the Elim there on Arrow. And this could very well be WVU point. And it is going to be Lootboxers not going to try and touch here. Setting up here on defense while WVU is going to start trying to create some space here. And Pogfish able to get one. Mr. Smiles able to get the Juno, but they are WVU still up 1, up 2 now. And that's going to be a Blizzard from Squid. Spyrise trying to really push and get that. Spyrise almost getting eliminated. That would have been very dangerous and very unfortunate for the Lootboxers. And Blizzard now coming out on the side of WVU. Bob coming into play for Mr. Smiles here. Ocelot able to get UTG. And it looks like Ocelot's going to be charging in here with Brig and Rally. Able to get that pick there on Street Racer. That is going to be a Lootboxers fight there. Good dynamite there coming from Mr. Smiles. Street Racer getting some pretty solid hits on Smiles. Unfortunately missing the dynamite. That would have been a huge dynamite for sure. Bob is ready. We'll have to see how Bob is going to be used here in this fight. And Spyrise going in there. Both walls do come up. They are going to hinder Spyrise Annihilation there. Pogfish able to use Annihilation of their own. Able to get 4 in that fight there, and WVU is going to go ahead and keep pushing the point. Looks like trying to engage, and there is Street Racer's Bob coming in. Street Racer able to get that pick. It will not be a Bob play of the game, at least not this time, but some great pressure having Bob there applying that damage. Spyrise able to get 2. Mr. Smiles getting Juno in the back. And this is going to be another Lootboxers fight here. WVU is going to need just one good push here as they're going to get the payload, hopefully, to the next checkpoint. 4 meters and increasing before they get to that objective. And Blizzard coming from Squid right on top. And that's going to be big. Squid able to get Pogfish. And walled off, unfortunately. Great wall from Squid, however, able to prevent UTG from escaping. And Street Racer quickly going down Mr. Smiles, and Squid landing some damage. Mr. Smiles finishing off that Elim. And WVU going for the point here. They're going to kind of almost have to forget about what's going on behind them, but going to rescue. Both Annihilations coming out with a rally for support. They are able to get unfortunately, UTG was getting very close using Blizzard. They were almost able to get the next checkpoint, but unfortunately not able to. Mr. Smiles and Squid shutting that down. Overall, some really good team fights coming from both sides. Definitely that high ground advantage that the Lootboxers had against WVU holding up here. So we're going to take a look. So the Lootboxers really holding this space right here, doing exactly what they needed to, and then able to rotate once WVU was applying the pressure and getting them out of that space. So we'll have to see if on the offensive side, if if the Lootboxers can do a similar thing, and if WVU can do that on defense as well. Hold the spacing, if not better. I mean, they're going to have to do better than what the Lootboxers did in order to come away with this map. So it'll be good to see what WVU can do on defense here. And you see, it looks like the Lootboxers are going to be keeping the composition that they had. Spyrise is going to stay on that Ram. Ash and May will be the DPS of choice, and Brig Juno again. You have Ram. Pogfish is playing Ram again. Street Racer switching to Sojourn, and UTG sticking with the May, and then you've got a Juno Ana. Lootboxers looks like they're going to be rotating the back alley again. And WVU to meet them there on that end. Trying to beat them to that corner. And Ocelot will be the first to fall. And Street Racer able to get Arrow down with that railgun. And UTG able to get a early pick on Squid. Those icicles really hurt, especially when they hit you in the head. So that's going to require Lootboxers to have to spend a little more time in order to regroup before they can push in all the way. Spyrise is antied, unfortunately, not able to capitalize. Pogfish able to escape the wall that Squid had put up. Wolf Dragon does go down to Mr. Smiles. UTG is going to use Blizzard. Street Racer able to capitalize. UTG able to get a pick on Spyrise. And Pogfish is going to finish off Squidstorm. A lot of damage there by Street Racer. Street Racer able to get Arrow as well. So far, WVU has had a very impressive defense. They're going to have to keep holding strong. Just under 2 minutes for the Lootboxers to capture the objective here. As far as the alts, looks like you have Annihilation coming up on Bob, Freeze, Rally, and you have Juno there, so a lot of alts on the Lootboxer side. But if you look on WVU side as well, they're holding on the 4 alts. They only used Blizzard last time. There is going to be Juno's alt here. Annihilation come through as well. Lots of alts happening here. Just going to have to take a glance. All of that. Was it chaos? Was it organized? Was it planned? Lots of things happening on the side of the Lootboxers. We had just talked about how they had all their alts. Now all they have is Blizzard on the side of WVU. Same situation, but they held onto Nano. Looks like UTG is going to go ahead and use Nano here to try and allow some more time for that touch. Actually, at first I thought it was a misclick. That was a really good strategy there coming from WVU, something I honestly had not seen before, but that's giving a lot of time for WVU to come back. You're going to pick on Ocelot. But Lootboxers do get the objective here. Looks like it's just the supports trying to escape, but Lootboxers are really trying to prevent their escape. UGG is able to get Ocelot. A lot of pressure there from Pogfish. Squid able to get Street Racer, and Spyrise able to get Pogfish after that Elim. UTG is going to go down to Arrow and Squid, and Wolf Dragon is trying to get away with the support of Moose, able to stay alive. Reaching that 2-minute mark, Squid getting very low, able to stay alive here in this fight. And there is going to be another combo of ults that may give the Lootboxers the game, and that is going to be a team kill. That is going to be first map, Midtown, goes to the Lootboxers. Man, and if you look at that map, honestly, both teams played great. And I am definitely excited to see that really good hold that WVU Blue had against the Lootboxers there on the objective. Very strong defense, and at the end of the day, it seemed to just come to an ult dump. Lootboxers able to, maybe their ults were stronger, although there were a lot of heroes similar there or mirrored there. But just that ult dump giving Lootboxers the objective, and then they were just able to keep pushing and applying pressure from that point forward. Mr. Smiles just kind of sitting on the payload, still taking some shots and getting those dynamites landed, but just really able to get the payload move while the rest of the Lootboxers were up there applying that pressure. WVU definitely going to have to accommodate for that, but I'm not counting anyone out of this match. After that first map, both teams look very strong, and I'm excited to see what they've got going forward. Looks like we've got Pipes up in the chat. What's up, Pipes? And to give you an update on another match that is actually happening at this exact moment, looks like they are starting on Control. This is between Fusion Esports and Texas United. These two teams are in the Platinum division that we also have. So earlier we talked about the two divisions that the Odyssey League has now adapted. So this is in the winners bracket. They are still on the first map, though, but it looks like Texas United currently holding the objective, just taking the lead. It looks like a pretty balanced fight so far. Excited to see what both those teams do and who comes away with this first map. Pipes, yo, I wish you were here in the booth with me too, man, but that's all right. We have got New Junk City for the second map here. And if Yvonne were here, Yvonne would be proud. Or happy. So still on the left, you have got the Lootboxers, who now have the lead 1-0 in this fall tournament. So it is a 3 games guaranteed tournament. The matches will be played throughout the tournament, best of 5, and then in the championship it'll be best of 7. So Lootboxers one step closer to that those 3 points that they need to come away with this victory. Still nothing that WVU cannot overcome. We look at these compositions. You see the Brig Juno again on both sides. Again, that seems to be the meta for Overwatch 2, so definitely a very strong combo. Dom going to the Junkrat. We have seen a lot of Junkrat coming from Dom. Looks like Mr. Smiles is maybe going to get that early TP and switch back, and Spyrise sticking with the Ramatra. You've got Pogfish on the Junker Queen, Street Racer on the Cass. You've got that Brig Juno combo, and then a Venture. Mr. Smiles is able to get the pick on Wolf Dragon. Pogfish is staying alive there. Trading is now 2 for 2, but all of WVU looking very low. And Pogfish able to get the pick there on Mr. Smiles. And Pogfish is going to choose to back out here while the rest of the team is regrouping. Lootboxers are going to get the objective. That is a lot of damage there on Spyrise, but Spyrise is going to live. Dom, meanwhile, getting a pick there on Street Racer. And Arrow's going to get picked there on UTG. Pogfish also going down. And Moose getting out. Lootboxers are going to get to almost 50% now on this first point. That was a huge ult there coming from Pogfish. Just watching as everything plays out. Looks like Mr. Smiles is going to go ahead and get a pick with that Deadeye, but unfortunately Pogfish is going to round the corner with an axe. That is going to be a lot of damage that Mr. Smiles cannot handle. Spyrise also going down. Wolf Dragon winning the Juno 1v1 or something like that. I like what I'm seeing so far. Pogfish now taking a lot of space in this room here, trying to set the team up for success. But Dom on the Junkrat is really going to love the tight spaces. A lot of damage output in those spaces from Junkrat. They are going to back up. Street Racer getting a good pick there on Arrow. Now down one support. UTG able to get Ocelot. Both supports down, and WVU is going to try and capitalize here. Mr. Smiles very low. Or sorry, Street Racer very low. Mr. Smiles also low. Does go down to UTG. And Tire does go down. WVU able to turn that point around. They do get the first objective here. Lootboxers first to get to the objective. And they are going to go ahead and use the orbital. Rally coming from Moose, unfortunately, does get shut down very quick. It looks like the WVU also using their Juno ult, but unfortunately, Lootbox is really able to capitalize on there. And the auto-locking missiles of Juno able to get UTG down. Looks like they are going to regroup. Meanwhile, you have both Ocelot and Mr. Smiles regrouping in the backline as well. And Mr. Smiles going to use High Noon here. Does get the finishing blow on Pogfish. Street Racer going down as well to Spyrise. And Mr. Smiles able to finish off Zeus. WVU does get the cap there to able to get a little bit of percentage. However, Lootboxers able to swiftly take it back. While we're in this downtime as WVU is regrouping, it does look like things are tied up 1-1 on control between Texas United and Fusion Esports as they head to Control Center. But back to the Lootboxers and WVU. Lootboxers are closing in on capturing the second objective here, closing in on 80% and climbing. And 99%, they are able to get onto the objective. Dom, very low, does get hit by Pogfish's off there. Carnage there. And Lootboxers are going to come away with the second objective here. You do see, so there are going to be some swaps. Pogfish now switching to Orisa. Street Racer now on Junkrat as well. Sticking with the Brig, Juno, and then Tracer from UTG has proved to be beneficial thus far, sticking with it. And UTG does go down, maybe got baited a little bit by Domavender there. You do see Spyrise is going to go ahead and use Annihilation here, really pushing in, but Rally from Moose prevents much success from that all. And a high noon coming from Mr. Smiles. Does get UTG again. UTG just got back to the fight. Spire is able to get Street Racer down. Looks like WVU is going to regroup. Nano does come out from Ocelot on Spyrise. And a Pulse Bomb from UTG, looking to see how effectively they can use it. Worked really well, able to get Ocelot last time. He's going to start the fight, able to get Ocelot again. That is going to be a huge pick for WVU. While they're pushing in, Mr. Smiles very low, does go down. Street Racer does go down, but able to get Mr. Smiles there. And a lot of support coming just in time as they take on Spyrise. It is going to be a WVU objective, but not before Lootboxers get to 94%. And Dom with another tire. Tire's going to come out right away. And Dom is going to go ahead and get Pogfish now down several. Spyra is able to get Wolf Dragon down, and that's going to be a Lootboxers objective. They do get the second one, needing one more to take away map 2. Street Racer now switching off the Junkrat, going to May. Maybe hoping to separate the enemy a little bit, or maybe hoping to mitigate some of the damage coming from Dom of Ender. UTG coming up on a Pulse Bomb. Does have to use Recall almost instantly when engaging there. Dom very low, unfortunately unable to finish the elim. Mr. Smiles does go down. UTG able to finish off Dom. Ocelot low in the back line. UTG doing a great job of applying pressure. Spyrise using Annihilation, hoping to get the support of WVU down. Moose very low, does go down. Spyrise lasting as long as he can. Maybe that ult was to get a pick and swap. We will see here in a moment. No swap, just a very aggressive ult. Moose coming back to the fight after getting ulted there by Spyrise. Looks like UTG setting up again for the pulse. Does get Ocelot. That is 3 pulse bombs, I believe. 3 times Ocelot has gone down to a pulse bomb. It's almost as if UTG is headhunting for Ocelot there, but taking the supports is good. Dom able to answer, does get UTG down, but ultimately fight goes to WVU, and this may be the 4th objective here, tying things up 2-2. And a great fight there coming from WVU. They are going to start regrouping as the next objective looks to be behind them. So some advantageous positioning that WVU will have going into this next fight, as they will be fighting for objective here. And on this objective, they will be fighting for the map. And Dom able to get an early pick there on Moose. And Dom hoping to use that Riptire, is able to do so. Tire does go down to UTG and takes out Dom, unfortunately. And this is going to be a Lootboxers objective. Starting to climb to finish out the map here. And they are going to engage with the Blizzard. High Noon coming out as well. Able to get Moose, but not before Moose is able to get the nano off. Pogfish still very low. Does get knocked off by Ocelot. A huge whiplash there coming from Ocelot. And Ocelot waving to UTG, who is respawning tactically, hoping to get one more engage. Pogfish does switch to Doom here. And it looks like some good picks there coming from WVU. Annihilation coming from Spyrise. WVU able to get the point here. They're going to have a quick reset as Spyrise is hoping to get the objective back, fighting for his life. They are trying to stagger here. And that's going to be a really big stagger coming from WVU. Going into this, looks like they could have another tire. Looks like they're going to have Rally coming from Ocelot here. They have Juno ult. Looks like they may want to use it sooner rather than later. Lootboxers setting up on that high ground. And there it is. Ocelot also using Rally. Riptire coming out as well. And Riptire is able to connect. Does get Wolf Dragon UTG going down as well. Lootboxers have numbers. Pogfish going down. Street Racer trying to get the High Noon off, but does not. Moose going down. That is a team kill, and that is going to be Lootboxers' objective and map. definitely some very even fights there coming from both teams. Honestly, you know, I'm not going to take anything away from any of the Lootboxers because I know from last season for a fact the Lootboxers are an excellent team. Excellent team. And they did lose also this season, but unfortunately for them, but Spyrise is filling in some really big shoes and definitely showing quite a bit of diversity. Maybe not tonight in that Ramatra, but I'm going to be honest, I don't know how many times we saw Ramatra in the Lootboxers lineup last season. So seeing that change there for the Lootboxers, I think, is doing well. But ultimately, I think a lot of fights are just alt economy and knowing when to use alts, but also they're on Midtown. You saw the Lootboxers. They dumped a lot of alts to capture the objective. I believe it was 4, all but Blizzard there. And then here in that last fight, I mean, they needed to, the last fight, so they may as well use everything. No point in holding it for Overwatch 3. But giving themselves that space or that breathing room with using those alts and capturing the objective, just unfortunate there. For WVU, but quite fortunate for the Lootboxers. So going into this could be the deciding map between the Lootboxers and WVU as we go. This is actually the final match for the winners bracket in the open division. As we are getting things underway, it looks like we are going to be heading to Runasapi here. Lootboxers making another couple swaps, so Ocelot coming out and Dom coming out as well. We're going to see Squid coming back in, and it looks like Dream Suite is going to be playing in that support role. Meanwhile, it looks like the lineup will be the same for WVU. Ultimately, again, very, very close maps so far. Push can definitely go either way. But what's happening, chat? How's everyone doing while we're waiting for teams to ready up? Everyone having a good time? Excited to be back in the Overwatch Odyssey League YouTube stream? I'm gonna pretend that was a resounding yes coming from everyone in chat. Chat, while we're here, okay, all right, Swag. Well, no need to be a Debbie Downer, I guess. But as we're continuing things, I gotta know. We're going into map 3. This could be the deciding map for this match between Lootboxers and WVU. Who you taking? Who you taking in this match? Because again, it can go either way, in my opinion. WVU has looked very strong. Lootboxers just able to overcome here, so definitely something that can go. Not to get too sidetracked here. Swag, I'm going to be honest, I never would have expected Debbie to be D-E-B-B-Y. I always, in my head, thought D-E-B-B-I-E. Is that weird, chat? Alrighty, and we are loading into Runasapi here, the newest push map. Personally, I thoroughly enjoy this map. Definitely changes things up from your Coliseo, New Queen Street. I'm enjoying this map thoroughly. What's everyone think here of Runasapi? All right, as we're getting things underway on the side of the Lootboxers, we have got Spyrise sticking with that Ramatra, good old trusty Ramatra there. On Mr. Smiles going to Ash. Squid sticking with that May. You see Dream Suite, the new support coming in on Ana and Arrow sticking with that Juno. On the side of WVU, you've got Pogfish on the Orisa, Street Racer with Sojourn, Wolf Dragon on the Juno, Moose playing Kiri, and UTG on Cass. And it looks like they were maybe trying to flip a little bit here. And Spyros does go down. Pogfish able to get the finishing blow there. And Squid going down. A lot of damage coming in Squid's direction. Arrow going down as well. Looks like they are just going to have to regroup here. But Mr. Smiles able to get the pick there on UTG before going down and forcing the regroup here. WVU getting some really good progress here on Timmy. Looks like Pogfish does get anti, does go down. And there's the aggression that we had seen a lot of from last season, but really just being led there by Squid and Spyrise with the assistance of Arrow's Speed Ring on Juno. I mean, that brawly comp with Ramatra's Golden Gloves coming out, I mean, that is just lethal pushing into WVU. Lootboxers now starting to make some progress. Looks like WVU now pushing from the high ground. And Kitsune Rush coming out. That is a lot of damage coming there from Pogfish. Street Racer getting quite a bit of damage. Smiles takes down Wolf Dragon. Spyrise now getting UTG. Pogfish going down. And it looks like it is going to go in favor of Lootboxers again. Looks like both support ults were used there on the side of WVU. Unfortunately, still able, or not able to come away with it, but they have not taken the lead yet. WVU now getting another team fight before losing the lead. Able to get Dream Suite, does roll out. Spyrise looking very low, using Annihilation. Huge Suzu there coming from Moose to keep them alive. Mr. Smiles able to get a pick there on Street Racer before getting out. And WVU going to get Timmy to about where they had him last time. Railgun does come out from Street Racer, unfortunately unable to get a lot of value. Mr. Smiles also using Bob there. Wolf Dragon coming up on another ult. It'll be interesting to see if that fight is going to be taken here, but WVU is down. They are going to go ahead and use it. And Wolf Dragon able to get two. Arrow goes down to the torpedoes. Spyrise going down, just good old-fashioned primary fire there. Squid left alone, and Squid does go down. On the side of the Lootboxers, they do have Blizzard, they do have Nano, but it looks like WVU coming up on Orisa's ult. They have Kitsune Rush, they have High Noon. And Street Racer coming up with a Sombra play here. Maybe to disrupt Mr. Smiles a little bit. Squid Storm now there. And there is the Blizzard. Suzu does come out, unable to get And Nano does come out. It is going to be Pogfish fighting, but unfortunately not able to do anything. That is going to be a team kill for the Lootboxers. Well done and good fight from the Lootboxers there. Able to get away with that using Blizzard and Nano there. Coming up on some good ults. Another Annihilation coming. Bob getting close, and we've got Arrow's ult coming up here. And there's going to be the Kitsune. Great engage there. UTG able to get a pick there on Arrow. And Spyrise does go down as well. And UTG able to get the double kill, getting that headshot on Mr. Smiles, and Squid going down as well. Great combo. Bob is hacked. Bob is going to get killed, but while they're focused on Bob, Spyro is able to get Street Racer down. Arrow taking down UTG. Pogfish does get the Bob finally, but Spyro's getting Pogfish and Moose. Dream Suite finishing off Wolf Dragon. Another team kill coming from the Lootboxers, able to win that fight and win it pretty effectively. That was a pretty quick team kill. I think that hack was good. WVU really turning to finish that Bob off, though, allowing Spyrise to just kind of walk in there. Spyrise continuing to apply pressure. Squid getting a pick there on Wolf Dragon. Spyrise finishing off UTG. And this is what I was talking about exactly on that hybrid map at Midtown, right? You see Spyrise up there, Arrow up there as well, and Squid really just applying pressure while Smiles and Dream Suite are back there moving the payload. There's going to be Wolf Dragon's ult. That is a lot. EMP coming out as well. That's going to be a pretty big EMP, but Squid able to get UTG down. Spyrise using Annihilation, gets Street Racer, gets Wolf Dragon. Terror Surge comes out to get Dream Suite. Mr. Smiles does get Moose. And it is going to, Timmy is going to keep going in the direction of the Lootboxers. Just over 2 minutes left. Map is definitely not over, but definitely not a team fight that WVU wanted to lose there. That's going to be Kitsune going into Arrow's orbital ult. And lots of kills traded. Pogfish able to get the Javelin there on Arrow. Moose does go down. It's going to be a nanoed Spyrise versus Pogfish. But with the support of Dream Suite, Spyrise is going to win that fight. Dream Suite's just hanging out there, giving Spyrise all the support that he needs. WVU now regrouping, able to really apply pressure on Dream Suite. And Dream Suite really just stalling. I feel like it was just a couple seconds ago that I said it was just over 2 minutes, and now we're getting ready to say just under a minute left. WVU in possession of the robot. This is for the match. WVU is going to have to push, and they're going to have to win every team fight that they come across if they want to make sure that they come away with this map. That's going to be a big Terror Surge coming from Pogfish. Able to get Dream Suite again. UTG able to get Spyrise, but Mr. Smiles does get a pick, but WVU is going to win the team fight. That is going to be the first of many that they need. Well, maybe not many. They're coming up on the lead right now. Really going to have to push for some space. They got to make sure that they don't allow Lootboxers to touch here so they can get the lead. That's some good gatekeeping coming. And all the ults are coming out. That's going to be a freeze. Mr. Smiles able to get Pogfish. That's going to be a huge pick. Wolf Dragon answering back does get Squid, but Spyrise and the rest of the Lootboxers are going to clean up. That is going to be a Lootboxers map 3, very close, and Lootboxers are going to come away with this match against WVU. Man, what a match between these two teams. Ultimately, every map very close, but Lootboxers able to come away with all 3 maps for a 3-0 sweep in this first round, going into things as we begin this tournament. Now, like I said, this is not the first match, although it is the first streamed match that we have for you tonight. So in the winner's bracket for round 2, we've got a match between Dominated Blinks and Exile Coven. That will be coming up, I believe, tomorrow. But Lootboxers, who won this match against WVU Blue, will be facing off against Wyoming Cowboys. Both teams were from the Odyssey, or are from the Odyssey Leagues last season, so both teams ready to face off against one another. I'm sure Lootboxers experiencing some changes, so that'll be something Wyoming will have to adapt to, but best of luck to both those teams. However, so WVU, having lost this match, they will be facing off against the ASAP Sellers in the losers bracket. So this is a 3 games guaranteed tournament. So they will have at least one more, or at least 2 more matches before they call things over with for their chapter in the Odyssey League Fall Tournament. But as we are doing this, we're going to see if we can do an interview. All right, and we are going to have an interview with Spyrise, the tank for the Lootboxers. Spyrise, how is it going?
Hello, I'm good.
Good. I got to say, that was a very dominating performance that you and the rest of the Lootboxers had. If you had to pinpoint one thing that you thought went really well tonight, what would you say that would be?
Me punching the enemy Orisa.
Hey, it worked, and I gotta say, the space that you were taking with Arrow and Squid, and just that overall aggressiveness, and using those golden gloves to really beat down the enemy Orisa, seemed to be worked really well and looked great. If there was a map tonight that you think you together played the best, which one would you say?
Midtown.
Midtown. Okay.
100%.
Any particular reason, especially with that 100% confidence, what really stood out on Midtown that you thought?
I feel like just me and our Brig kind of just held W and did not care about the enemy backline. Got every single elimination easily.
Nice.
No, I don't want to say easily, but we kind of just walked in there and got everybody.
Yeah. I gotta say, definitely it worked well, and I think I'd made several comments about how after the objective had been won, how you and I believe Arrow was there, and I guess your Brig just walking forward on Midtown and just creating that space, allowing for Mr. Smiles to kind of be the payload princess there and just walk that up to where you needed to be to win the map. So that worked out well for you. Now, I got to say, I had to mention something about the Lootboxers' former tank Oso and the very slim portfolio. I wouldn't say it was much of a hindrance because he played very well, but the slim portfolio of Oso's hero pool. I saw Ram on every map. Would you say that was a compositional choice, or would you say that is probably the most comfortable pick for you?
Definitely most comfortable pick. He's one, my most favorite tank in the game, and two, he's just my best brawl tank overall.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, Ram does some really great things, and I think especially with the Juno being in the meta, using the Vortex to kind of hinder her movements a little bit, I think proves to be beneficial. But all in all, Lootboxers played great. Excited to see what they can do. I mean, 3-0 sweep. Now you've got Wyoming Cowboys coming up for this next round. Excited to see what you can do. Is there anything in preparation that you intend to do, or that maybe you've talked about with Squid or Arrow or Ocelot about this matchup against the Wyoming Cowboys?
Definitely mostly just expanding my hero pool, because obviously we've discussed that Ram is probably my best hero, but I definitely do need to work on my other brawl tanks like Orisa and Reinhardt, and maybe even a bit of Doomfist with my dive. But overall, it's mostly just trying to expand my hero pool with more dive characters, I'd say.
Sure. Yeah, definitely will be beneficial in the long run. But until then, great job tonight to you and the rest of the Loot Boxers. Thank you for letting me bring you into this interview here. Appreciate your time, and I will let you,
Thank you.
Get back to celebrating with the team.
Thank you.
Alrighty, everyone. That was Spyrise, the tank for the Loot Boxers. So again, kudos to the Loot Boxers and Spyrise for coming away with this 3-0 victory against WVU Blue. Well played by WVU. Definitely, I saw a lot of really good play, and excited to see how that transitions into your next matches. But until then, thank you all for tuning in here for this first fall tournament stream. I am hoping to do another stream sometime this week, so stay tuned for when that may be. But until then, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you next time.